Admiral session reviews, and in particular, a TV session review. What are we going to be tackling in this session?
Today we're doing Skeleton Crew.
There you go.
The new Disney Plus Star Wars series. I gotta tell you, King, I enjoyed this one. I really did.
So did I.
The show focuses around 4 main characters. 4 protagonists and 1 antagonist. That's the main one.
Yep.
It's set in the New Republic era, 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. Basically, the premise of the show is the main protagonist set out and discover an ancient aircraft hidden in their woods on Ad-Atten on their planet, and they're accidentally swept off into the galaxy for an adventure. So it's cool. It's kids. You know, I love
Goonies meets Star Wars.
Big time. It was cool. Like, I was a little bit concerned with the planet at first when I saw, like, okay.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off too, Admiral. We were discussing that when we first watched the first episode.
I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but then it did kind of work, you know. It worked for me. I think they did a nice job of bringing Star Wars to a new audience in this one. It's nice to see it from a kid's perspective.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that. Let's talk about our main characters.
That's right, Admiral.
Character number 1, his name is Wim. Wim, he's a kid, played by Ravi Cabot Conyers. He's a boy who's not satisfied with his life on Ad-Atten, doesn't seem to conform to their customs and routines. He craves adventure and to know the universe outside. He's obsessed with the Jedi. He's always like role-playing to play Jedi. He's studying Jedi on his tablet.
One word, guys. He's a dreamer.
He's a dreamer.
Like the King and the Admiral.
Number 2, character number 2, Neil, played by Robert Timothy Smith. Neil is a Mykian alien. He's a Mykian.
Not a Mikey?
No, a Mykian. Or Mykian. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
It's okay. The King, you know me with pronunciations.
Tomato, right?
That's right.
He's a Mykian youngling. He's very pacifistic. He's very kind.
Okay.
He's easily controlled by his friends, but he's very loyal and loving. And he does not like conflict.
He's a follower.
He's a follower, but he's loving, and he has a lot of heart and empathy.
Yeah.
The third character, Fern, played by Ryan Kira Armstrong. She's the daughter of Farah, who's the high-ranking government official on Ad-Atten. Fern's an assertive, take-charge kind of personality with a rebellious nature. She likes to get in trouble. She's a mischievous one.
She's the leader.
She's the leader. She's not afraid to get in trouble. She's a natural leader. She's not quick to trust anyone, but is very protective of those that she cares for.
Street smarts.
Street smarts.
That's right.
And finally, we got character number 4 here, KB. Love KB. KB's partly cybernetic. She refers to some accident that she had, and she cannot do everything that everyone else can. But KB's highly intelligent. She's technically proficient. She's resourceful, and she has the ability to discern truth in situations. She's a loyal and kind companion, and she'll speak her mind when she has to.
She's the Data of Star Wars.
I thought the same thing. I didn't want to put it in here.
It just popped in my head.
I'm like, this chick
Admiral.
is Data.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it reminds. What you just said, described. I'm like, it's Data.
She's like Data, but she's human too. But she's got cybernetic components that keep her alive.
She was more human than, I'm telling you. When I saw her with the help with to replace that thing in the back of her head.
Yeah, she was very...
I was like...
They built like some sort of new conduit for her. She had like a motherboard in her.
You have to think. For a couple of kids, she's smart to pour they did that liquid whatever in the sand and then come up with you look like a battery to the King and put it in the back of her head to kind of give her that she needs.
She needs maintenance here and there, right?
It was crazy. Like when I said, I'm like, damn, I really was impressed with her.
Yeah, and then, Jod, who's our antagonist. Is he a protagonist? Is he an antagonist? Jod Nanawood, a.k.a. Captain Silvo, a.k.a. Dash Zenton, a.k.a. Crimson Jack, a.k.a. Jodwick Zank, pirate, swindler, hustler.
Jack of all trades.
One may think he may have crossed paths with Han Solo the way that he was.
Yeah, Jude Law, guys.
Who is this guy?
Jude Law, right?
Jude Law. Who is this guy? He's a chameleon. He can fit into and adapt to any situation.
Yeah, you can say that.
He can manipulate you to make you feel like he's working in your best interests. Spoiler alert here, guys. He knows the Force. He can wield it. And he uses it to manipulate others' ideals about him.
Yeah.
And
boy, he did.
He's grown cold and seems to care only for money. Under it all, he'll do anything to get it. You get this sense of goodness underneath it all as he exercises a lot of restraint from killing the people.
Yeah.
He had so many opportunities to shoot the kids and kill them, and as well as other people. So he, for some reason, he kind of held back there. And it was very noticeable toward the later episodes as well.
Admiral, I think he has a code. You know how there's a code that you don't kill kids? I think that's what it might have been, more of that than why he didn't do so. Or he just didn't want to kill kids.
So these are our main characters here.
Yeah.
We also have the pirates, like Captain Brutus and some of the other guys, just filler in the background, but they do serve their purpose. Some of those characters, guys, are in Mandalorian Season 3.
Yep.
On the Battle of Navarro. Mm-hmm. So you'll recognize Vane, for example. He's there. You see him with Carl Weathers. Mm-hmm.
That's why he looked
Apollo Creed.
Yes. I remember
God
that. Now you
soul.
said, man. We lost a lot of good guys. He was also on the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was the president of Navarro or whatever there, right?
Yeah. The mayor. Right?
Yeah, the mayor or whatever. Or what do they call Viceroy?
Yes.
Viceroy or Vicar or whatever.
He's the mayor.
He's the boss.
That's it.
All right. If I'm getting it wrong, sorry, Star Wars universe.
Admiral,
I might have it exact, but I got it. Okay.
Hey, I trust every single word you say because honestly,
sure you want to do that?
You lost me at when you were naming off Jude Law's characters and his 50 names over there. I'm like, is he naming everything under the sun like
this guy? He's known all over the place, so he's been into a lot of stuff.
Jack of all trades, buddy.
Yeah. Now, what did I like about it?
Yes,
I've been going on about it for 5 minutes with the characters here.
Yeah.
Star Wars changed the intro music at the beginning. Okay, first and foremost.
They
how they had that at the beginning?
Yeah.
It was very mythical and very childlike. I thought that the music really set the tone nicely for the show to give you the impression of
what kind of
kids show.
The setting of the show, what's going to...
I thought it established a good mood to introduce the show. I like the concept of AT-AT and the planet. A droid-controlled mystery world where society is completely sheltered from reality.
Yeah.
And the organic citizens are controlled by the robots. Mm-hmm. The organic beings strive to have careers serving the robots and have no real concept of the universe around them.
I agree.
The planet is protected by an electric barrier that impedes any unauthorized ship from penetrating the barrier to arrive or leave the planet.
So like a camouflage, guys.
Yeah, so it's hidden. You can't see this thing. It's not on the charts.
Kind of like we got with Themyscira.
Yeah, and I also like...
That was cool. I like the way they did it, though. A planet inside that appeared to be another planet of some sort.
I got a continuity issue I'm going to bring up a little bit later.
Okay, King.
But, no, Admiral, you're the king.
No. King, what I mean is, King, I'm holding my thoughts to myself.
Oh, okay.
King talks to himself in the fourth person.
Just don't answer yourself.
Okay, Admiral. Yeah, that means you're going to have to put me in the crazy house just down the street over here.
That's okay, all right.
We're actually outside the crazy house. Just kidding. Go ahead, Admiral.
All right, back on topic
yes.
here. We've gone off.
Yeah. King will be quiet.
Here, let me have a coffee sip. Hold
drink. Because the king has his thoughts in his brain, He's like collecting his thoughts slowly.
It. So, another thing that I liked too was, I like the thought that AT-AT is like a mythical planet. Like out there, you see from the pirates, they're like, AT-AT.
Yeah, I thought it was like a legend or a myth.
It's like a myth or a legend that like almost like nobody believes. Yeah. There was like a lore song that they sing about it in the later episodes.
Kind of like the Greek myths that we have. Was it real or is it not real?
Yeah, so
does it exist? Does it not exist?
They referred to it as in one episode as the legendary planet of hidden treasure. Right?
Yeah,
that was cool. And these kids are coming up, and then they got these these dataries, these Republic credits that are pure gold, and these guys are freaking out about these things when they take them to the pirate bar,
because they haven't seen them in a while, right?
Yeah, so it gets everyone's interest stirred. Like, what is this? How do you have a brand new old Republic credit? And they're old Republic credits.
Yeah, they're not
from way back.
Yeah.
Right? So they have them in mint condition. Yeah. So if they're in mint, that means they haven't been in circulation. So there must be something with these kids. Where are they coming from?
Exactly.
Where's the money? So the pirates are onto it. The nose is now sniffing.
They smell gold.
They smell the gold.
Almost like leprechauns.
Exactly.
Man.
And also, I enjoyed the fresh sense of adventure from the perspective of children.
Yes.
A lot of...
That was fresh. That was a fresh take on that, Admiral. I appreciated that.
Yeah, me too.
Because for a guy who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, Admiral, I appreciate that because that allowed me to go into your world and experience it from my perspective for once.
Yeah.
Because most likely when you watch Star Wars, you have to know what's going on and why they're doing what they're doing, right?
And what time frame they're in.
Exactly.
What timeline.
I have
How's
no
it relevant?
clue. That's what I liked about it.
I'm teaching them, folks.
Yes, he is.
Them.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like, for a newbie to go into this, I felt like, hey, I'm like everybody. I'm on an even playing field with everybody.
And it's a good place to start, too, right? It was a fresh perspective.
Yes.
There were many times I felt like I was watching the Goonies in space.
There you go.
Throughout the show, especially some of the later episodes.
Yeah. Did you think there was any like filler episodes that they could have removed some? Because how many episodes was it total? 8?
There was 8.
Do you think they needed all 8, or could they told it in like 5 episodes instead? Because there was a couple that, did we really need them to go through what they went through?
I think the second episode when they go to the jail and get them there, that was kind of slow moving.
Yeah,
I would have maybe changed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had things happen a little bit quicker and more dramatically.
You would combine it with another episode, right? Like episode 3, and kind of get it together.
Maybe do an hour cut instead of a 36-minute cut.
That makes that's what I felt too.
But I'd have the rhythm be a little bit. There were points, as much as I like the show Night Dude, there were some slow points. Right?
Well, every show's going to have
that. And that tends to happen, right? But it picks up in the right places.
Yes, it did.
You know?
I was never bored, guys. I can tell you that honestly right now.
And, you know, for me, with Goonies in space, getting back to that, where they discover the lair of the space pirate attack Rennet.
That was cool.
With all of its booby traps and the treasures.
That was Goonie Indiana Jones to me. That's what I felt.
Goonies and Indiana Jones theme moments. The main difference is they're not searching for One-Eyed Willie's treasure. Yeah. But they encountered it on their way as part of their journey to discovering their way back home, right?
That was cool. The way the water went down the acid.
Yeah.
That was cool.
The line that I loved there where he goes, when KB's reading the thing on the roof. Okay. And then she says, you must throw in what's most precious to you. So, and in my head, I'm thinking one of them's going to have to sacrifice themselves or whatnot. He pulls out the Gold Republic credit and he throws it right in. It's money, of course.
Of course,
because it's a pirate, right?
That's right.
So it's gonna be money.
You gotta think like a pirate.
You gotta think like a pirate, not humanely.
That's right.
You know, because you would think the thing you sacrifice the most is
something
yourself.
that's important to yourself. Yeah, yourself, or something that's
pirates put money over their own life. So
it's true.
Throws it in, then the acid pool drains.
That was cool, the way they did that, and then how it filled back up.
Very Goonies, though, with like the whole like thing. It reminded me of when Carrie Green in the Goonies is on the bone organ there. Yes. And she's got the words and she's got the riddle and everything, and she's got to do the thing
in order for it to open up. I'm telling, that was cool. That to me is what I wish they had a little bit more of that.
It's fun for the kids.
I love that. I love that. That was a good one.
And then at the beginning of episode 6, the next episode, because that one ends where they pull up the roast and they go down in the floor, right, to get away from Jod. When we discovered Jod, when Jod finds out the truth about the money and the treasure, and he knows it's all true. He goes in there, he challenges Fern for the captaincy. She yields. He becomes the new captain, and they escape.
That was a little not shocking, but
it was quick. It was abrupt.
It kind of like someone slapped you in the face. Like you expected it, but you didn't expect it that quick.
Yeah, and then exactly, and then the next episode 6 starts with. They're on these like slides that they're sliding down. Yes. That reminded me of the Goonies when they find One-Eyed Willie's ship in the water slides.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me too. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I thought.
I think they probably inspired from that for sure.
It's okay. You can borrow a few ideas here. It worked with what they were trying to achieve.
And you know what? It created some nostalgia for the Gen Xers like me and Georgia, or like the King over here, right?
We caught that. That's kind of like a little hint, wink, wink kind of thing. And little nods.
I thought that there was very good interaction between the 4 main characters as well.
Yeah, the kids, they work well, and even Jude Law, like you said, his character worked very well
with the kids.
Because you think adult kids, I don't know how that's gonna go.
He was, like I said, he was very manipulative towards them. He had them split on their feelings too, because you see Wim.
He pitted them against each other.
Wim and Neil were kind of leaning towards Jod a little bit.
Yes.
But Fern and KB, no way. KB knew right away. You're just after the treasure.
Street smart.
And Fern too. Why should we trust you?
Exactly.
If you're a Jedi, why can't you do this? Like just like
questioning,
qualifying questioning. Yes. Natural leadership questions.
That's right.
As where Neil would have just followed him off a cliff.
Yeah, exactly. Lemming.
And I love that term.
Lemming.
And, Wim with a little bit of manipulation might have too, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So I thought, it was interesting. I felt that Jude Law did an excellent job in his pirate scenes when he was interacting with the space pirates.
Yeah.
Like gradually manipulating to the point where he takes over as the leader. I thought those were great scenes.
Wicked way he worked his way to do that.
Yeah. And just thought the evolution of his character was very cool. You see him gradually going more dark, and then you find out things about him. You find out that he was discovered by a Jedi hiding in a dirt hole, and the Jedi took him and said that he had potential.
Yeah.
And he was partially trained, and then the Jedi was killed in front of him by, I'm assuming, probably by the Inquisitors who were from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
That would make sense.
They probably hunted him down because Order 66 was still in effect from Revenge of the Sith.
I was just gonna say, was that the same time period this went on? Like that when he was a kid, obviously.
It's not. Obi-Wan Kenobi is 10 years after.
Okay.
That happens 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Okay. So, but that whole series, it could have happened during that time frame. He would have been a kid then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you wonder if it lines up.
It does line up time-wise.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that it would be around somewhere within that span of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Okay.
Where Jaw gets trained and then the Inquisitors capture his master, and she gets assassinated, right?
And he's left to fend for himself.
Yeah, and he says, and I don't know if it's sincere, if he's just manipulating the situation like he did so masterfully throughout the show.
Yeah.
But he's basically saying, the galaxy is darkness with specks of light in it, and that he was a survivor and he had to fend for himself.
Yeah, because you're wondering if he's sincere about what he's saying. Is he not just saying it just to sound good, or is he saying it because he lived through it?
Exactly. And, he says the only real thing is money. He's talking about cold hard credits and all this
Pirates.
Stuff like that. So he's got the pirate mentality.
Yeah.
Now, the unsung hero of this series, the unsung hero is Droid 33. From Love 33. Thought he's a great supporting character.
Yeah, that was good.
He's like the comic relief for the show.
I was just gonna say that, the comic spy.
He's
really
the comic
spy, yeah.
Can't say I've ever heard of an AT-AT. Like little line. He kept repetitive lines that kept going over.
Yeah.
And then he'd the way he was funny. He was good in action scenes too. Right?
Oh yeah,
he was good.
It's stupid funny. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, he had good.
I had a kick every time he was on the screen. I was like, yeah, I gotta watch that guy.
It was good.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch him.
It was really good. I enjoyed that, and the show itself, it wasn't too heavy. It wasn't too dark. It was light.
Did it feel like Star Wars to you though? Because you're the Star Wars guy. For me, it was cool. Did it take you out at any point? Is this an actual Star Wars thing, or is it like some sci-fi show?
It actually felt like Star Wars to me in the sense that it's Star Wars for a new audience, and we're in different times now with new technologies. In my childhood heart, I always have a place for the original trilogy, the grittiness of it,
Yeah, because you seem to compare what comes out to what you originally saw and fell in love with, right?
I thought it captured a lot of the good elements of Star Wars.
That's the main thing. That's what I was more concerned with for you.
Yeah, it's definitely Star Wars for a new generation. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
I definitely like that.
So basically what TF1 kind of did for me, this one did for you. That it introduced a lot of people to the Transformers thing, in this case, Star Wars, in an easy, simplified way that you can explore yourself and kind of get into what you want to get into.
Well, and now maybe the kids...
Yeah, maybe the ones that kids fast, right? I'm telling you, I don't know.
Maybe they got touched by the show, and maybe they'll go watch the other stuff now, People that weren't into it, maybe it'll bring Star Wars to a new audience now.
Yeah,
I liked it. I'm hoping that... Well, I'll give my theories in a minute, but... if I was going to point out anything that I didn't like...
Yeah. Your dislikes, Admiral. Tell us your dislikes.
So there is a continuity issue that I noticed.
So you can't fool the Admiral.
When they escape on the Onyx Cinder ship at the beginning from AT-AT, why didn't we see the barrier in space when they went out?
Yeah, you just saw them go straight to space and totally skip over, unless they wanted to keep that secret, Admiral, from us for the last episode.
Ambiguity, maybe, but
to maybe so it'll have a bigger impact.
There's another issue though with that.
What? Okay.
And I thought similarly, but when they come back to AT-AT, one of the characters says, "Oh, that's what the barrier looks like from the outside."
So they let it
Do you
slip that it was.
understand?
Yeah.
Unless guys,
No,
correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
you're
if
right,
I'm
because if you're
misinterpreting
going
something.
up, you're gonna actually see what is as you're going up. You can't. It's not something you can't see.
They had those generators that were hanging.
But they were active though. Didn't they get damaged? How did it get through the generators?
Remember at the end
you could switch it, but who turned it off for them to go through? That's another question.
That's the other thing. Or maybe something was going on where something was coming to AD-AD and then they shut the barrier off.
So they shut it at the same time.
Yeah, maybe they shut it off periodically. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I don't know. I'm just reaching here.
Loophole.
I'm reaching, right? I know.
No, hey, anything's left to the imagination.
Yeah, because I was wondering that. I'm watching that, and I'm like,
how do you not know what it looks like if you went? That's how you
went
up.
You have to go through it to. But it's a kids show, right?
You never know.
That was one thing I was like,
That's true. Yeah.
It kind of got me there a little bit.
I agree. Yeah, because you're right. Because even when they came back on the last episode, or the second last episode, they didn't even know what their planet looked like. And you would know what it looked like when you went out.
Yeah, because you would have saw the energy barrier. They had those things hanging all over the place.
Yeah. So how could you not... But don't forget, at the same time, did they keep their eyes closed because they were scared?
That's also another... But how would they have... Well, we know that they would have cleared the barrier because it was an AD-AD ship.
Yeah, because you saw them.
Yeah, and that ship is an AD-AD ship, so it wouldn't be... They wouldn't attack it.
No, so... Yeah. So were they going that fast? They did not see it? Or
sorry, spoiler, guys. If you haven't watched it...
Oh, no, this is more than enough. This is like 2-3 weeks later. So you know what? If you haven't seen it, too bad on you guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys. This is a series review that we're doing. This is not an episode by episode. We're just going on about the series.
Don't worry.
Watch the whole thing.
Admiral, you do not have to apologize to these people on the Throne Nation here. You go ahead. This is
considerate of you guys.
This is what these reviews are. This is for you to totally dive deep into the review itself, and I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, too bad.
There was another thing too.
Okay, what else got on your skin?
The acting at the end was a little bit wooden for me.
Yeah, wasn't it like generic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Fern at the end. You see KB's ship go down, right?
Yeah.
It's flying, and then you see it land, but you don't see no explosion or anything. You just hear Fern go, "No!"
And they left it like.
But there's nothing that happened before. No. Because if something bad would have happened, there would have been an explosion. It would have blown up, right?
There's no way it's going to land the way it did.
So I saw it, and I'm like, okay, why is she screaming? Because if there's no flames and no fireball, they should be okay. Yeah. Or there's a chance.
Yeah.
Right? So it just, that part kind of was a little bit...
conveniently, she's okay. She didn't crash as bad as we thought. Crash is a crash. Should have went boom.
Yeah, so especially coming in hot from outer space.
That's speed, yeah.
But then you find out 33 is a master pilot, and he leveled it out, and they saved the day.
Didn't he lose his head?
Yeah. Remember she was flying with his head there?
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying.
So how are you flying this thing? And she's holding the head, right? She's holding the head. I got help.
I give up. Goonies.
But that's all I really got to say
about it. It's possible. That's all I have to say about that.
Now, conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Well, theories. Mm-hmm. I have this theory that Jod might be working for somebody. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I still think that someone's above him. I agree with you there.
And I think...
Who is the question?
I think... Why? Listen. Mm-hmm. We know that Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka, and Mandalorian are all in 5 ABY. Okay. They're all in the same timeline.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that we might discover some answers in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I think the 3 are going to intersect in the movie. Okay. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember something too. This is the New Republic area. The First Order is supposed to rise in, I believe it's 24 ABY. Okay. So there's a 19-year gap. But they need to start putting things in place to start the gradual takeover, right? Mm-hmm. So I had wondered, where's Supreme Leader Snoke right now?
Yeah, where's he hiding?
Is he still in the unknown regions on Exegol with Palpatine?
That could be.
He's scheming. Or is he pulling the strings behind the scenes somehow in order to set the chess pieces in place for the First Order to rise? Yeah. Right? Yeah. And my theory about AD-AD, it's a cash cow. It's a mine.
It's a bank. It's a vault. Mint. It's a vault.
They make Old Republic credits and gold. You're going to need money to be able to fund an empire or fund a You know,
exactly.
So I'm wondering if Snoke is going to has something to do with AT-AT. It's completely run by droids. The supervisor on AT-AT is a robot. It's a master robot.
Big
right?
stupid eye.
So it's got all the people in order. I'm wondering if I kind of wonder if AT-AT is Snoke's piggy bank.
Yeah, because you know that
That's
money
just
has
a
to
theory,
belong.
guys.
That money has to belong to somebody.
You know, just because the way I see it. To take over the galaxy would take years because you would need to put a lot of different pieces in place.
You need resources, you need money to build an empire.
And it also makes me wonder too if Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka is somehow involved. Because I'm wondering because Peridia, the planet that he's on, that he escaped from at the end of Ahsoka, is in unknown regions as well. It's in an uncharted
So maybe that's
area.
where he's headed.
So I think that Exegol, the planet where Palpatine is, and where Supreme Leader Snoke was cloned, I think they might be in the same galaxy. Guys, if I'm wrong, please correct me.
It's a theory.
These are theories.
Deal with it.
This is just an opinion.
Yeah.
I think that Snoke may have made contact with Thrawn somehow.
Okay.
And I think that
is that where he's headed after Ahsoka? He's headed towards that area?
Well, Thrawn loaded up his starship with Dathomirian witches, right? And I don't know where...
His guides.
Yeah. So, and there was hundreds of them. They put them on the ship, right? And I'm wondering, okay...
There might be a connection.
Yeah. So, you know, what's going on? You need a lot of money to establish an empire or to take over the galaxy.
I agree. Money is power, guys.
So, you know, if they can keep making their own money and...
Or if they collected all that over time and for them to put in their vault, that's what pirates do. Don't they get pirates to gather stuff?
Remember, too, in the episode when Jod goes to the vaults in the last episode? Remember he goes down? It's the second last one, actually.
Yes.
He goes down and he asks, how many vaults are there here? Like 1,100 and something. And this thing was full. It was like a Costco of credits. Right? So
piles and piles of loot.
So what's with all this money? Is it going to be used to help the rise of the First Order? Is Snoke going to come into the picture in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and come out from behind the scenes? At least in some sort of
fashion,
fashion that where he's not like the dark force user, or where maybe he's in disguise as a politician.
Could be.
As something like that, you know.
Yeah, misleading.
Yeah, like creating deception, planting the seeds, putting all the pieces in place.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my theories, right? Or is it just Grand Admiral Thrawn that this guy, you know, because this guy, Jad Wood, I'm pretty sure that's probably not his name either.
No.
He's got 5 names. He's known all over. He's got all these aliases by the Republic. He's known. You know, sometimes Imperials were known to use pirates and bounty hunters
to do
missions and mercenaries.
So they don't get their hands dirty in a sense, right?
I almost get the feeling, because Jod is force sensitive as well, he would be a very good mercenary, right?
Yeah.
He could have been hired by Thrawn at some point. There could be a connection there. He might play a greater role later on. It'd be great to cross over the 3, right?
Possibility. We still don't know what we're going to get with the Mandalorian movie.
And I really hope we don't.
Jesus. So who knows what are they going to tie up all loose ends with that?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Ahsoka has already crossed over with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She's been in it.
So why not another one?
That's what I mean. And now you have, from Ahsoka, Ezra Bridger, the Jedi, is now back in the galaxy.
There you go.
Because he came out of the unknown regions, out of Peridia, right? So he's back, you know, and then just Ahsoka's stuck there right now, and so is Sabine.
Thrawn's coming out.
Thrawn's already back too, and I think there's something big at play here.
I agree with you there.
You know, and I could be wrong. So that's my theory on that. As far as the season 2 on Skeleton Crew, I hope they do that. I think they will. I think it's successful. What I would like to see is there's a gap between that time period and the rise of the First Order. We already have the sequel trilogy. We need to get something going in between
to kind of fill the gaps.
Yeah, so even if you develop on these characters, these kids, as they start to get older, I would personally, I would like to see like Wim develop into someone adventurous. Maybe he discovers he's force sensitive, or he becomes a pilot. To see Atten involved in the rise of the First Order, and to develop on those characters and take them down storylines down that road, because we're going to need to connect that time frame. There has been books that have been written in between. They are books, but if they can take these characters and throw them into that story, or like juxtapose and tell the story from the other side of those kids, it would be very interesting as well to see, I think.
Well, do you think that Jude Law's character could be the father of somebody important down the line, or previous, or some sort of connection? That maybe he was left behind. Like, was he an orphan? I don't know.
There is a rumor.
Because that's what
there's an Obi-Wan rumor. Okay. In the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan fell in love with a woman. I can't. Guys, help me out. I can't remember.
Don't
the name
even
of the
ask
character.
the king.
I can't remember the name of the character. But there's a rumor of a storyline where he had a child when he wasn't supposed to have a child.
So could that be the kid?
It could be, but this is not canon that I'm saying.
No. Okay.
It could potentially fall along the line. It would make him a bit older than Han Solo, though, and I don't know if that would work.
He'll be older than Han Solo, right?
Yeah,
but that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that there's any chance, and this is, I don't know because I don't know the timeline, this is just something you can shoot it down because I know you will. Is there a chance that he could be connected to Han Solo somehow, like being his father?
No.
Okay, it's the other way.
No. Han would be a little bit older or the same age as him.
So maybe a brother?
I don't know.
That's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, could he be related to him? Because they're almost kind of like similar, but not similar to each other.
I think they wrote Jod that way, though, to have that character. I don't know if they're...
Is it because, they wanted someone to kind of like resemble Harrison Ford's character, Solo, so we can kind of follow...
I think so. I think they wanted to have a swindler, like it's
a scoundrel.
You need to have a scoundrel in Star Wars. It's needed.
Yeah,
right?
because it's a polar opposite of what the kids are. Innocent, adventurous, don't know what's going on, kind of like, whoa, this is new to us.
Well, exactly, right? And I hope that they do a season 2.
I hope so too, because you know what, I enjoyed it.
I actually liked it.
I was very surprised because you know me, I'm not going to say I'm a Star Wars fan, but I enjoyed it. I think it's one of the better produced Star Wars put together from beginning to end.
Yeah, I like that.
You mentioned the other ones, the Acolyte. Like I was. That got me angry, and I'm not even a diehard Star Wars fan. Okay, I'm like,
the Admiral's not going to say a word about the Acolyte, folks.
Come on, twin sisters.
I got nothing to say about
witches.
That show, so.
All right, I think episode 1 was the best episode, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And after that,
no comment.
I'm like, what did you guys make me watch? The King's beard got more gray than it should have from watching that. Okay, that's what I have to say. It aged the King. I'm like, what did you guys do? Like. And you spent so much money on it?
I just the premise. I read the premise and the storyline, and it haven't.
Not translate. That's what I'm saying.
Guys, I haven't watched it. I have no interest in.
Well, you know what? You're not missing much.
There's just too much controversy about it, and I want to stay out of it. So
in a way, it's good because maybe if you watch that, it would taint you wanting to watch what you just watched, Skeleton Crew, because a lot of people, because of what happened with that, they don't want to watch it. They're going to watch Andor, no problem, because that was done amazing.
I love Andor. Andor's great.
Just like The Mandalorian. It kind of got people a little off, especially season 3. It's like, what happened? But whatever. Like, and then you gave us that, and it's like, no.
Yeah, like, this is different, though. Like, Skeleton Crew, they
different
made it
kind
for
of
the
animal, but it was Star Wars still to the core.
It really was.
And he can only give you an honest opinion more than the King, because the King, like I said, I'm a casual viewer of Star Wars. Like, I watch anything that's good. He has Star Wars in his blood. That's why, you know what? He's like a Jedi. The King? No. He's like a Force ghost. Shows up whenever you want to and books it.
You definitely have the beard for it.
Obi-Wan?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Or who's Obi-Wan's master?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
I look like more like Obi-Wan. I almost look like it. No, I don't.
Look like
King looks like the King. Anyways. But yeah, no, guys, so any final thoughts so we can wrap up your Admiral session, Admiral?
Final thoughts, guys. It's a good one to watch it with your kids. Enjoy it. It's Star Wars. Just have fun with it. You know, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope that they build on it. I think it's a good start for something different.
Perfect. So you give it a total thumbs up and a pass.
Thumbs up and a good pass.
And a recommend.
And the recommend.
And even the king will give
it the double salute.
There you go. And of course, it's king approved. Stamp. Boom. Done. Right? There you go. So he gives